This is Let's Talk Big, the big read with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel. The Owens Community College Campus Big Read is taking place now and throughout the semester, with the goal of bringing awareness of different perspectives through books. The Campus Read book is A Little Less Broken, How an Autism Diagnosis Finally Made Me Whole by Mariam Schembari. It's the story of one woman's decades-long journey to a diagnosis of autism and the barriers that keep too many neurodivergent people from knowing their true selves. Now, sharing passages, topics, and events related to the book are Director of Library Services, Jane Berger, and Professor of English, Jen Hazel.
Welcome to Let's Talk Big. I'm Jen Hazel, and I have with me Jane Berger and Rachael Brooks, an OTA student. Welcome, Rachael.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Jane?
I have a passage.
Okay, excellent. That's what we like to hear.
Smack in the middle of the book. This is a really good one. Stereotypes sprang up in a line of zealous actors gagging for their Oscar in Rain Man. Dustin Hoffman gave us the first on-screen depiction of autism. His character Raymond could magically count hundreds of toothpicks as they fell to the floor. Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory is considered autistic coded. He's rude and condescending with little empathy for others, and he has difficulty socializing and a strong preference for routine. He's even obsessed with trains. But it's all okay because he's brilliant. Then there's Elon Musk, certified real man, trademarked, of course, who came out publicly in 2021 as having Asperger's during the most painful SNL monologue I have ever seen. Further reinforcing the image of autism as an awkward but genius white guy in tech, unless he's high needs but genius white guy in an institution, of course. Do these stereotypes stem from the fact that autism really is a predominantly male condition, or is autism considered a predominantly male condition thanks to these stereotypes? Most experts agree that autism is genetic. While we still don't really know what causes it, some studies have suggested that it takes a bigger genetic hit for girls to show the more classic autism symptoms than it does for boys. I spoke with Dr. Maria Konderitis, currently the executive director at Masonic Medical Research Institute, New York, and an associate professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School, and she explained that many of the genes that cause autism are found on the X chromosome. Since women have two, one can mask the either compensate for mutations. I've sometimes heard this called the female protective effect, which just seems to be what we do, protect as women. Also a stereotype, I'm sorry.
You're fine. I was just
rolling right
but you
into
know
it.
what? Great. I'm glad. Good way to call yourself out, Jane.
That's right, I know.
Fabulous.
Thank
Before
you.
we get started and Rachael starts talking, just want to make sure that those who are listening know what we mean by coded. And when we're talking about autism, we're talking about all those stereotypes without actually saying it. If it was another illness or something else, that's
Right.
what we would refer to. So, Rachael, do you want to dive in? Tell us what you think. Give us your
Okay,
thoughts.
so when we're looking at this, they say, is this that it is a male condition or is it the stereotypes? Is it the stereotypes that make it that way, or is it the facts that make it the stereotypes? And I think that when we're looking at this, the reason these are the stereotypes is because it's all we do see.
Mm-hmm. The extremes.
It's the extremes. It's Elon Musk. It's Sheldon Cooper. It's Tony Stark. The genius, savant, generally rich white guy, or well off,
Sure.
Or there's the hand flapping, the head banging that you see. They're the only two ends that we ever see.
Yeah.
We don't see more of the nuanced. We don't see a lot of the female characteristics because, as women, we are socialized differently. Mm-hmm. The males with autism generally have a harder time making friends, whereas females generally have a harder time keeping friends. So we don't see the other things that are happening because nobody goes, oh, that's autism. Because the only time we see that is on those extremes.
Right.
I myself at 39 was diagnosed this year. So, reading this book was very soothing, cathartic. This was me.
Yep.
Constantly, like,
not
oh my
alone.
gosh, this is exactly my experience. We're similarly aged, and to say, this is my experience. But nobody sees that because we don't go, oh, that's autism. That character's autistic,
Right.
because we don't know that. So
Right.
it's kind of that catch-22. So I think that we need to work on, I tell everyone that I have autism, not to be like, look at me, I have autism, but to say, hey, this is what autism looks like. This is a version of what autism looks like. Mm-hmm. If I said something to you that sounded really rude, I didn't mean to. That's not who I am as a person. Please feel free to let me know. I tell all of my classmates, especially future OTAs, this is what this looks like. It's not all, Elon Musk. It's not all Rain Man. Savant syndrome is incredibly rare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many nuanced or subtle presentations that, sometimes women or men or boys or girls just get sort of labeled, because, we love to label things and people as like Marion was. And maybe you have that experience too. Ugh, she's annoying, or, just really rude, or, just stop, you seem so bossy. I mean, these are all of the things that Marion had been told up until, her diagnosis. And maybe you've experienced some of that too, because those are things that you can attribute to other, other ways. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have autism if you present that way. So it's so subtle, people don't know how to respond.
Well,
there's not the grace, maybe.
I think so, but actually I would pose this question. Maybe we should just be giving everyone grace.
Yes.
Because we don't know where people come from.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the things that I think is interesting in talking about representation, so my son is now 10 and he was diagnosed just around 3. And my younger brother said to me when I was telling him about the diagnosis, he says, I don't know that I know anyone with autism. And I was like, you do. Mm-hmm. You just don't know that you do.
Yeah.
And because we only understand it to be savant, or we understand individuals who would have, now we have a wonderful, much better way to assist and help with individuals with autism, but it would have been institutionalized.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
And that is what we understand. And so that's hard. And now this was 7 years ago now, but even thinking about what I knew and thinking about talking about it then versus now is very, very, very different.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting as well when you look at the genetic component, because what causes it? Now we're realizing how genetic it is. Mm-hmm. My best friend's son was diagnosed with autism at 14. Mm-hmm. And when you look back and she goes, but I didn't, this is just how you do things. This is just how, sure. Well, how many adults are being diagnosed while having their children evaluated because they didn't know, because this is how they have experienced the world, because it's that genetic component.
Yeah.
So you're having so many parents who are being diagnosed, and that's not just with autism, that's with ADHD,
Sure.
That's a huge thing. We're having these kids that are being diagnosed, and the parents are doing the questionnaires, and they're filling in like, well, this.
Yeah, this is
well, but this is just life. This is just what it is.
Well, you learn to adapt. I mean, as humans, I think we're pretty good at that. Or masking is what, we've a term that we've learned through reading this book, and what Marion, did a great job at, and I'm sure many. We learn to get through, do what we have to do to get through our days, and to try to be like what we think everyone expects us to be.
Yes.
And I can't imagine how exhausting that must feel. Did you experience some of that prior?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I've masked and just wondered what was wrong with me, and you'll notice if you see me around different people, when I speak with you guys, I will be very, I mirror. And so if even speaking with someone with an accent, I'll start picking up their accent. I will pick up, because at this point it's so just something that I do. It's not even thought about. It's I'm looking to see what's appropriate. How are people acting? Because I'm not sure in that social aspect what's appropriate here. And so I pick up from other people, and you'll see me kind of chameleon my way through life.
Yep.
Yes,
Sure.
absolutely. And really what's interesting is if anyone is aware of the applied behavioral analysis that often kids do, the very first thing they teach them how to do is mimic, and that is what you do. I would absolutely adore to have you come back and
Yes,
talk
please.
in some more details.
Anytime.
But we are going to have to wrap it up for today. On behalf of myself, Jen Hazel, Jane Berger, and Rachael Brooks, keep talking big.
This has been Let's Talk Big. Catch Let's Talk Big anytime on the RSS feed or the Owens Outcome Plus YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe. Join us again for Let's Talk Big, the big read with Jane Berger and Jen Hazel.